You probably know how a lot of people tell you if you use Windows, you are very prone to malware, or if you use Android, you're very prone to malware. However, all the Mac users and Linux users and obviously iPhone users cannot get any malware. Now, I'm here to clarify and tell you that all of that is nonsense. That's not how internet works. That's not how computer works. That's not how anything works. All of those are devices. Some are more prone to malware than others, sure, because some have better security. But let's just look at example. Why do Androids have more malware than iPhones? As an example, I'm just giving you context, right? Because Androids are more open in their nature, that's number one, and worldwide they're more popular. Those are two things. It's easy to just sideload an application, and hackers can trick you to sideload an application. That's why. Now, do iPhones have vulnerabilities? Of course they do. You can just look up and see how often there are 0 days in iPhones and how often just hackers take advantage of it and just are able to get full access to the iPhone, to the camera, to microphone, everything. Make it a full monitoring device, basically. That's super common. Now, that's number one thing. Number two, let's go to Windows. Of course, Windows has a lot of viruses. Why? Because Windows is the most popular operating system. It's beneficial for hackers to make malware for Windows because they're more likely to find a target that way. However, macOS also has a lot of known issues. What I'm going to show you today, though, is Linux malware. If you go to github.com and you look at /malware samples, you can see here Android malware samples, ransomware, macOS malware samples, Linux, malware feed, and virus samples, just as sources. Let's look at Linux malware samples here because I'm going to show you all of this in the Kali Linux. Now, all of those files are, if you look, it just looks like a random number of strings and letters. Those are just hashes of the files. And if we just scroll a lot here, because there are a lot of samples right here, it says here, this project created to simply help out those researchers and malware analysts who are looking for Linux ELF binaries and other kinds of virus samples for analysis, research, reverse engineering, or review, which is what we're going to be doing today. Finding Linux malware can be a bit hard at times, true, so we decided to make static repository available. We may be adding additional files to this repository from time to time. This should go without saying. Please be sure to exercise extreme caution, which I am. I'm using a virtual machine when handling these files because, as well as you well know, they have been designed and developed with malicious intent by their original authors. We believe in transparency and helping the good guys have the right access and the tools they need to rip these malicious files apart. We welcome all requests and contributions. Please remember that these are live and dangerous malware. Do not run them unless you're absolutely sure of what you're doing. I am sure of what I'm doing because once I run some of this malware right here, this whole virtual machine is getting absolutely demolished. I'm removing every single connection to this virtual machine, and I'm just getting a new Kali Linux machine after this one. So now that we understand what we're dealing with here, let's get to it. So how do we do it? First, again, please make sure to not do this, actually, unless you're 100% sure of what you're doing. Do not do this. I have completely separate, everything. I have a separate Windows here, which I'm not using as my main machine. I have dual boot, right? And inside that Windows, I have VirtualBox, which is completely isolated with this Kali Linux specifically for this project only. After this, I'm deleting everything that is connected with this Kali. So if you go here to get, or if I go here, I don't want you to doing this. Just watch this instead of doing it yourself. You can do git clone and malware samples. Now, obviously, I have this already because it actually takes a while to download, even if you have decent internet speeds. And if you go here, you'll see, oh, whoa, what is this? Like, why do I see so many hashes? Well, these are the files. If I try to read one of them, okay, let's select. We can just select anything, doesn't really matter, right? Because I don't really know. I can't test all of them right now, obviously. That would take like a day, something at least. So let's just choose this one. Let's just try to read it. Reading an ELF file, you'll see that it's just gibberish and you can't really see anything in it, right? This one is a bit short. How about something that's a bit longer, maybe? Okay, this one is a bit longer. Reading this, you can see again, just gibberish, nothing you can really make out. But what I can do is I can do file star, and that will show me exactly here what's happening, right? So you can see here, it shows all of the files. Let me actually do it a bit like this so it's a bit more visible. A file, it's an ELF64 LSB executable. It says which architecture it's for. So obviously if you're going to be using Mac OS, let's say with virtual machine that's going to be using ARM architecture, so you're not going to be like doing full emulation. Or if you have an ARM Linux, this is going to work for you, right? But I don't need that. I'm using virtual machine. I'm using standard architecture. So let's try to see how we can analyze some of those files. That's very important. So to analyze one of those files, let's choose, let's say, this file, right, with the zeros. That's starting. What I can do with it is I can copy and I can do strings and this file. And actually, let me make it executable because I'm going to be working on this file probably. Just a random file chosen, doesn't actually matter which one I choose here. chmod plus x to make it executable, and let's do strings on it, /the file. Strings will show me any kind of it's supposed to show me some kind of text that's actually human readable for me to see what's happening with it. That's why I can use string in this case. It's just going to show me readable text. So you can see here something, again, gibberish, but this may give some information. We can do something with AMD GPU, AMD SHA, which is actually pretty interesting. I don't know why it says specifically AMD GPU, but okay, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? I can do file instead of doing that. If I want to just do file, to just look at this file only to see what it does instead of doing the file star. That's also pretty good. If this is one sample, we can do command known as LDD, which is going to show me libraries inside of it. So you can see here all the libraries available. Okay, cool. I'm pretty sure I might have actually already infected something. Let's try to do the following. Let's do strace -f-o trace.log, and let's try this file in this case. Let's see what's going to happen. So you can see here it says no valid configuration found for this. Okay, let's try a different sample file here that I have. Maybe something like this, or which one would actually, which one would be interesting here? Let's try the ones with this. Yeah, this was the one that it didn't like. Okay, let's try a different file. I've made already a few of them executable here. Let's try this one. Okay, nothing with this as well. So but I actually can't even close the command line here. Okay, I don't like where this is going. Let me just open a new one. Let's go to malware samples again in the test folder. Wait, where is it? Linux malware samples. Yeah, we'll go here. Let's do strace again, -f-o. Let's make a trace.log so we can keep logs in there, and /. Let's say we try this. Let's try the one with f1. Okay, so we can see we got a random ID. This is most likely the process that was called, so I can actually do like psox and look at the process numbers and see if one of them is matching. Let's try another file here. I want to just show you one file. Maybe it's going to do something. It's going to work. I don't expect anything crazy to happen, obviously. But okay, we can see CIA Qbot has infected this device. Okay, cool. So we can see this is happening as well. If I try to trace, do the cat on trace.log, we can see using strace what exactly was happening, right? So you can see it's trying to make some connection. We obviously see sockets. And this is just the basic malware analysis. So what I want you to get from this video is that, obviously I'm not going to show all of this GitHub like binaries. It's probably going to be very boring, right? And very long video. What I'll show you, what I want you to know from this is that Linux has malware, obviously. We can do malware analysis using cool tools like strace, strings, just seeing the type of file, using LTD, and just seeing what's happening with our connection. So that would be it, some basic malware analysis for Linux. And some people, I know that malware analysis is not the most popular thing, but that's kind of the goal with this video as well, because it's not really popular. No one really likes it or cares about it, right? I mean, some people do, but most people prefer doing like pen test, blue team, or red team. This may be some kind of inspiration for you to try and give it a shot, because there are a lot of specialists. The industry requires a lot of specialist malware analysis, but there aren't enough of them, basically. So hopefully this video was helpful and interesting. Again, I'll repeat, please don't go and do this again on your own. This is very dangerous. I just know what I'm doing. I have a separate machine that's not my main like PC. I just have this laptop with this Windows partition that I probably could just delete at any point and not care, because I don't have anything important here. And it's all virtualized, so I have a lot of layers of protection. So please be careful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.